We back in this motherfucking bitch.
Yeah.
Back in this thing.
Yes.
We said we was gonna be back, even though it took 2 years. We back in this bitch, and we ain't stopping. We back better than ever before. Hey, this our shit.
We did it.
We motherfucking did it. And can't nobody stop us but ourselves. It's time, goddammit. You feel me?
I'm glad you pumped.
They don't even know the half.
They don't.
They
We
don't.
about to tell them.
Let's get it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Black and Abundant podcast, the #1 podcast for Black love and success. We are your hosts, Jamal and Nia Jackson.
Jit, what's good, people? We back in this thing, back like we motherfucking never left.
How long has it been, babe?
Hey, 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. I know we left y'all hanging on like episode 30 something. I'm sorry. We are sorry in advance, but that's what this whole episode is about. We're about to give you the down and dirty inside scoop on what's really been going on with us and giving some game in that process. So you ready, babe?
I'm ready. And we don't even know how this episode is going to go, but we're going to just go with the flow. So just kick back, take your shoes off, get your popcorn, and just rock with us. Hey, we're going to be our TV for the night, so let's get it.
Yep. Let's do it. So today's topic is success.
Really?
Yes.
And y'all, I didn't even know what the topic was before we got into it.
That's the only word that I have. Like, that's all I've thought so far about what the topic would be today. So let's just expand on it. When I say that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
This motherfucking couch, because there was one point in time a few months ago, hey, we was thugging on this little baby ass couch.
Y'all, we were borrowing a friend's couch, and it was like a love seat. So like two butts, right? But like it was super small, like super you couldn't even, not just one person, you see how small we are, right? So not even one person could lay on this couch comfortably. It was absolutely awful. And then our friend came and got it one day, so we literally had no couch, and we just avoided the living room for like a month. But it's okay.
Yeah, but that was the spark that we needed to put fire on us to make the change and get the new couch. It was like the moment that happened, then that started like a series of changes, like out of nowhere. It put us in a state of like, oh, okay, that was the that we needed to do what we need to do to get this. But that was just a small little snippet. But honestly, that's not what success is to me. Yeah, this is cool. This is like a little success moment, but this is just like an external success thing. But nah, success to me is all the internal successes that we've been accumulated, and we can go for days talking about that. So that's what I want to talk about when it comes to success.
Yes. So that's ultimately, when I thought of this topic, what I wanted to talk about was just how our journey has helped us redefine what success is to us and what it means now, because what success looked like at the beginning of our journey versus what it looks like right now is two very different things. So I want to start off this podcast by just having a conversation about what success looked like to us before. So let's go back to like 2022, Jamal and Nia, where like we had just quit our jobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't know us, back in 2022, Jamal was working sales. I was a high school teacher, and ultimately we decided, it was literally like the same month, to quit our jobs at the same exact time and just go full time into entrepreneurship. And that journey has been it has been interesting.
Yeah.
You guys have been getting a taste of it. 2022 is when we started Black and Abundant. So you see episode 1, like right when we are fresh, like just out of our jobs, to now, you know, what is this? Almost 3 years later. So taking yourself back to like 2022-year-old Jamal, 2022 Jamal. There we go.
Yeah.
What was success like to you back then?
Back then, man, I just wanted to make it. I just wanted to have something that symbolized success. For example, you know, we made a decision to quit our jobs and then just go and do something on our own and get control of our lives that way. What we thought that looked like to us, such as, all right, quitting our job, we finna start this entrepreneurial journey, then we finna get out here and make a lot of money and build something, and it was just gonna be rainbows and daisies, and it's gonna be happily ever after. And then we're gonna get all the accolades, and people gonna see us be like, "Oh, look at them, they doing it. Oh, y'all so cool." And then that's what I thought it was gonna be like. No, it was
Haha.
honestly the complete opposite. Complete opposite.
Yep.
And it's we went through a lot of shit, and that's our journey. Like, we own everything that we went through and experienced because it was needed and necessary to get to where we are today.
Yeah.
Even back then, we saw where we wanted to go, but we didn't foresee what we had to go through to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still in the middle of arriving to what success and the destination is. But what we learn and what we're learning in real time now is that success is not just the tangible shit.
Yeah.
No, it's who you becoming in that journey. And I can honestly say today, and we can expound on this, that who I am today, and when I look in the mirror, I'm extremely wealthy, rich, successful, and abundant. And to add on to that, like, I feel like back then when we started Black and Abundant, how I'm looking at it now is completely different
Yeah.
comparing to what it is. Like, I had to the past 2 years and everything we went through taught me. I had to go through a journey of finding out what abundance means to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does it mean, truly means to be Black and abundant? And my ideology is completely different now, bro.
Yeah. Same.
So yeah.
So I want to take you guys back and kind of paint the picture
Mm-hmm.
better for you of what we look like, what we were really thinking back then. So when we quit our jobs, on social media, the common thing was like people selling courses and
Mm-hmm.
mentorships and all these overnight success entrepreneurs.
Made it look cool.
Yeah, like these entrepreneurs that seem to get money from doing just these 5 steps, or I can get you this in just a month if I just teach you this thing, or look how I made $1 million doing this. Like, that was what was hot at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we fell into that trap of thinking, okay, we have a lot of money right now. Like, we had like 150,
We had like
$200,000.
$150 bands. Yep.
Yeah. We had like
50
150 bands.
thousand up to $200,000 just ready to play with.
Right. And we had never even seen that type of money before, but we
Mm-mm.
were like, we're going to use this money as wisely as we can. We are going to invest, invest, invest. And we went crazy investing in these mentors and these courses and going to these events and meeting all of these people. We just thought that, if we just get the right information, then we can make this back easy.
Mm-hmm.
$150,000 is nothing. Like, we just signed up for this, and we just paid almost $30,000 for this mentor, and he said he can get us that in 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Ha.
Right.
It was not like that at all. So we go from this era where we're thinking that outside gratification is what we need to make us successful. For example, we see all of these people on the social media, and what makes them so cool, what makes them attractive, is they got the cars, they got the money, they got the clothes, they got the women, they got all of these material things that make them look successful. And we thought that we had to become that.
Mm-hmm.
We had to get all of the cars, the clothes, and the money, and all of those things. That is what would make us successful. So that's what we always strive for, is that external validation. And we would get frustrated with ourselves when we didn't reach that, because keep in mind, we're coming from a network marketing background, right? So we met in a network marketing business, if you guys do not know. Of course, we're no longer a part of it now. But back then, they used to push delay, delay, delay,
Mm-hmm.
delay, delay, gratify, sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. I was telling Jamal about a memory of one of my mentors when we were doing my budget session. I was an engineer at the time. So I was making like $3,600 a month, right? Which was pretty good for someone who just came out of college. And my mentor, when we were doing our budget session, he was like, I see that you're paying $40 a month for dance classes. Well, you need to take that $40 and put it towards your business. So like, I was delaying something that was really important to me and that made me happy, that kept me uplifted, because I needed to invest into my business. So that's the type of mindset that we had, is like, if we just grind it out, like if we just sacrifice going out, if we just sacrifice partying, traveling, buying stuff that we don't need, if we just sacrifice, we gonna get there, and it's gonna be worth it in the end. Well, what happens when you sacrifice for so long that you just emotionally and spiritually cannot take it anymore?
Get burnt out.
You get so burnt out. But I wanted to give you the space before I even take that anywhere. I want to give you the space to say anything if you had anything to
Now you want to roll, baby.
say.
If I can say anything, I just want to make this very clear right now. I'm I'm successful right now. I want to make that very clear. Like right now in this moment, I am a few days away from turning the big 3-0.
Yay!
And I've been on my entrepreneurial journey now for almost a decade. I made a decision to study entrepreneurship, dive into it, expand my mind, look into it, and just be obsessed with personal development, and be obsessive with that journey and whatnot. When I was like 20, first book out the gate that I read was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it just opened my mind up to a different world. But I will always wonder, like, hey, what I'm gonna be like? What will I be doing? What will I accomplish when I hit 30 or something like that? And I would have these dreams like, yeah, I'm gonna have all these external things, the cars, the money in the bank,
Mm-hmm.
the whatever, I don't know what the world pushes to you, and what the world tells you what success is. My
Mm-hmm.
goal was to accomplish that. But now that I am ending this chapter of my 20s, I realized that I am I'm so glad that I did not accomplish all of that. But I've
Mm.
accomplished something completely different, but so much better that I need. Because the worst thing that I feel like that can happen to a person is you get all of these external successes, things that social media and the world tells you to go achieve, and you receive the praise from the world, but you're not successful internally. You're not internally fulfilled. You're not seeking fulfillment from yourself, and you're seeking fulfillment from the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get the accolades from the world before you give it to yourself first, it's only a matter of time that you're just gonna fall flat on your face, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to deal with fixing that, getting that success from the inside first. So as of today, y'all, we're not from a world standpoint successful. We don't have three, four, $500,000 in the bank. We don't have the mansion and the nice driving cars, and the expensive name brand clothes and stuff like that. If we want to, yeah, sure. But that's not our goal now.
Yeah.
Our goal now here is success to us, accumulating a beautiful experiences together. Like this past weekend, bro, we went and spent $40 at this new joint, and we had the best experience in a long time. And it dawned on me like, yo, that is what success is right there. When you can, well, where you're at in your journey in life, no, despite what the circumstance says in your life right now, you're still able to find the good. Still able to say that I'm still going to figure out a way to create a great experience in the midst of where I'm at in my journey in life, on my journey to what success is to me from an external standpoint. But I'm going to choose to say that I'm successful not by who I am and my identity before I achieve all these external things. I'm not going to wait till I get to the destination to say that I'm successful. And I spent my whole 20s thinking that I had to wait until I arrived to my destination in order to be happy, in order to say that I'm successful, in order to say that I can give myself permission to be fulfilled, complete, and loved and accepted until I reach a destination. And what I realized, that type of thinking will rob you from living a
Mm-hmm.
great and happy life. So my people that's listening to this right now, like, yo, be careful of how the world will program you and listen to all these other people and seeking external validation, because you will trap yourself
Mm-hmm.
chasing something but missing out on beautiful opportunities in life. And I'm so glad that I got off that train.
And this was a recent discovery. I want you
Recent,
to
recent.
recognize that, because for the past 3, 4, 5+ years, I mean, we've been on this journey for so long.
Mm-hmm.
We kept thinking that we have to delay our success instead of recognizing that we were already successful all
Mm-hmm.
along. I don't know if you guys listen to Neuro Knowledge. If you don't, you
Yeah,
need to
shout
go
out to
listen to
Nero.
Neuro
Yeah,
Knowledge. He changed our lives. So
yeah.
one thing one concept that he always says is you can't have what you already have, or you
Mm-hmm.
can only have what you already have.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that to say we got so busy, like so caught up in delaying our success,
Mm-hmm.
that we did not realize to get the success that we wanted, we had to already be successful
Internally.
within.
Yeah.
But we kept viewing ourselves as if we were not successful.
Mm-hmm.
We kept looking around at our lives and being like, oh, we don't have this. We don't have the cars. We don't have the clothes. We don't have the money. Like, we kept looking at our lives and getting down on ourselves because we were like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? And things got so bad that we were just destroying ourselves within. Like, why can't we do this? How come the overnight success entrepreneurs, how come it seems like everybody on the internet, they started their business and they hit 100K, within 3 months? How come we're struggling? How come we're 2 years in and we still haven't had our $100,000 year? Which, y'all, first of all, that standard is crazy. Like, we set
Mm-hmm.
a ridiculous standard for us. Like, give your business at least 5 years. It's just that we had put ourselves in a place where we were financially dependent on our business being successful because it was all that we had. We didn't have jobs, so we had to make it work. And in doing so, we completely lost our scope of, or our mindset around what we really truly wanted and how we wanted to live. It's not that we wanted the cars and the clothes and the money. We just thought that that's what we needed in order to be respected, in order to be successful, in order for people to listen to what we're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, all of that was within us
This whole
all
time.
along.
Yep.
But God had to humble us. We had to get humbled in order to recognize what we truly had.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that we like to look at it now is that we had to learn the lesson at some point. We had to learn the lesson that success is internal at some point. And I would rather learn that lesson before we get the money
Mm-hmm.
than after we get the money. Because after we get that money, I don't want to lose it. And I know of people who have made the millions, made the hundreds of thousands, and got humbled, right? Because
Yep.
they didn't learn this lesson beforehand.
Hold up. Now, I know you ain't listening to this podcast and your credit is jacked up. Nah. The goal here is being black and abundant, not black and limited, because we both know that there's only so much you can do with a jacked up credit score, right? I know you're tired of getting denied. So what I need you to do is head over to start.jscocapital.com and book a free credit consultation with us right now. And let us come up with a game plan to get your credit right. I do not care what's on your credit. It can be collections, bankruptcies, charge-offs, late payments, you name it. We'll get you right. So once again, that's starts.jscocapital.com. All right. I'm looking forward to talking to you soon. Now let's get back to the episode.
The worst thing that could ever happen to you is that you become rich externally, but not become rich internally. That's the worst thing that can happen. You receive external the things, but you're not giving to yourself internally first. And I think that is a good segue into just really diving deep into that. I feel like we really need to take the time to unpackage that, because that's what really the past last year. When I tell you I don't even recognize who I was 60 days ago.
Yeah.
I don't even recognize who I was 90 days or hell a year ago. And I feel like the past year I've been going through both of us. We've been going through some of the most transformational spiritual changes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about, I don't know what type of time God is on, but I'm so grateful that we're going through this because it's needed and necessary. And this is a good point right here. Like, I want y'all to take a good look at me right now. Yeah, I got my shades on. I look like I ain't had a haircut in 2 months. And yes,
But you haven't.
that's because I haven't. And I told my wife, my amazing, beautiful wife, you look good, by the way. You look amazing, babe. Y'all ladies, man, take notes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
I'm just, but I wanted to use this opportunity to prove to myself that I'm making a personal life commitment that I am no longer seeking validation from the world. I'm no longer seeking approval from people or things that's outside of me
Mm-hmm.
because I validate myself. You have to put yourself in situations that test that new philosophy that you're claiming to live in. And
Mm-hmm.
right now, you're looking at a person. Before I got on the podcast, before I stepped out in public, before I put myself on camera, I had to make sure I had a cut. I had to make sure that I looked
Same.
presentable. All this, I had to make sure all my I's are dotted, my T's are crossed, all that stuff. But I said, man, fuck all that. Like, nah, this is my life. I'm going to live it how I want to. My goal is internal wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for me to achieve internal wealth, I have to let go of this idea of seeking approval from others. I spent majority of my 20s seeking validation from the world, seeking approval from others, putting people's needs first before considering my own first.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask y'all that question, that's listening to this, right? I want you to take a moment and think to yourself throughout the day or even just throughout your life, how often have you put other people's needs before your own first?
Mm-hmm.
Like, really think about that. And if you're living a life where you are putting other people's needs first before your own, I'm telling you now, you're setting yourself up to live a life of hell.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage you to do what you got to do, whatever spiritual work that you need to do to get to a place to where you no longer live like that. The best thing that you can do is take care of you first. You came into this world by yourself. You're gonna die. You're gonna leave this world by yourself. But I'm not telling you to say for like F the world and F people. No, love yourself enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna consider my needs first for once.
And I want to add to that real fast because it's not just about considering putting other people's needs before yours. It's also putting other people's opinions before your own as well.
Talk about it.
So when you let your decisions be governed by how other people will receive you, you are trapping yourself. And I
Wow.
think that's the biggest lesson that we've learned over the past couple months. And I want to give y'all the whole backstory of how we even got here and what happened over the past 2 years and why we've been absent. But I want to hit home on this first is that what was I saying?
You're gonna get the backstory. Just
What did you say?
I was just talking about approval seeking.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. But first, I want to talk about the fact that through social media, through us going on this content creator journey, another lesson that we've been learning is just how to put yourself on display, how to be so seen and be so vulnerable and still not care what other people think about you.
Mhm.
And I know that's so much easier said than done because I'm the type of person where I wouldn't say that I never cared, but I never let my other people's opinions stop me from doing what I wanted to do. I've always been bold, sold, and told about whatever I wanted to do. That's how Jamal met me. That's why Jamal
Mhm.
fell in love with me.
That's why I fell in love with you. I was a person who would allow other people's opinions to stop me, but you was different. I was like, I gotta get me some of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
And that's I wanna give you your credit as well because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A vulnerable moment of when I met Jamal, other people's opinions was consuming him,
mhm.
and I could tell that. And I used to always put him on blast. I've always been very self-aware and very cognizant of other people as well. But I noticed it in Jamal immediately, and I've always been on top of him for years. Ever since I met him, like, babe, you gotta let that go. You gotta let that go. Do what you want to do for you. Fuck them folks. Like even today, coming back and doing the podcast, he didn't want to bring the podcast back. Let's just take that, put that out there. He didn't want to bring the podcast back. I was the one that was fighting like Jamal. Who gives a fuck?
And hey, and hold that thought.
Yeah.
Hold that beautiful thought. And I just want to say, like, today, as I'm speaking as this person I am today, like, I didn't. It's interesting that like I am coming across these newfound revelations and internal realizations within myself on the latter days of my 20s. So
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff, it started my spiritual journey started really for real, like this like the deep, heavy work, over the past few months and last year. But like the big haymakers awakenings didn't really come until like within the past 30 days.
Yeah.
That's
This
crazy.
past month has been a lot.
Yeah. But continue.
I was just saying that I've learned through the content creation journey, and Jamal is learning. He's come so far.
Yeah.
He's done leaps and bounds when it comes to his how much he cares about other people's opinions, but social media has taught me that I'm not as strong as I think I am when it comes to other people's opinions. Like, again, normally I don't really care what people think. However, when you have such a great power to be able to talk to hundreds of thousands to millions of people, and for them to know you and see you and for you to share your vulnerabilities with them, people are mean.
Mm-hmm.
People are very mean, especially when you're doing something. Like when you're making a change, when you're actually trying to help, when you're building something that actually means something, people can be assholes. So you have no choice if you're going to level up. Like we have no choice. We have such a strong calling over our lives
Mm-hmm.
to help people to really build a legacy, not just through our kids, but our through our influence. You know what I'm saying? That's we've been called to so much more, so we cannot give a fuck
Mm-hmm.
about what people think, or else it would stop us from doing so.
Mm-hmm. For sure, I had to realize that I would not be able to fully fulfill my purpose and my calling, whatever that is to me in this life, if all my energy was going towards uh other people's opinions. Like if I wanted to do something, the first thing that would come to my mind, but oh, well, what was such and such think about this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang, how such and such gonna feel about that? And I know I'm pretty sure you listen to this right now, watching this, you are like that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the strong. I know the feeling like you sick and tired of that, man. That is not fun, bro. That's not fun. But I hope that you watching me and listening to me right now that I please understand that if I can make it, and I'm still making it, I'm still making it, and you can do it too. Like, hey, I had to let me share this. One of my most recent realizations is that I had to understand, like, hey, look, I was allowing like a financial milestone to determine if I was successful or not. You know, I like, dang, all right, approaching 30. I'm seeing the big dogs and people I'm looking up to. They hitting these financial milestones at 23, 24, and now 25 and all this stuff. And here I am, like, damn, I ain't nowhere near where I planned on being.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had to, and this I use that as an opportunity. And this is, my fellas, this is one of the most valuable things, aspects of having a purpose-filled, value-added wife by your side as you are on your journey of pursuing your mission and building your empire for you, your queen, and your family. Is that they see the things that's like can get in your way of getting to your greatness. So when those opportunities for you to go in, like, bro, take advantage of those opportunities. Stop running from yourself. And I was just running from myself for so long, and I had to realize, like, hey, in order for me to go to the next level, I have to tackle this this block of
Mm-hmm.
thinking that my success is waiting for me. I cannot be successful until I hit this certain milestone.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely let go of this mindset of like success is at the destination. When you really think about that, bro, that's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all out there are having that mentality of thinking that you're going to delay your happiness and success and ability to enjoy a fulfilled life until you get to the destination, I'm telling you now, let that go. And I want to let you know that flip it. Start looking at it from the lens of like, yo, the process is actually success. The
Mm-hmm.
process is actually the reward, not the destination. Because
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself this question: do you spend majority of your time at the destination or actually being in the process of getting to the destination? In the
Process.
process, you're gonna live most of your life in the journey of getting to the end goal, the destination. You might as well figure out how to be happy in the process.
Yep.
You might as well figure out like how I can be fulfilled, how I can make the best of where I'm at. And what switched for me was I had to accept the fact, like, bro, you are successful. Let people see you in the building phase of getting to success.
Mm-hmm.
Let people see this aspect of you. Let people see the nappy head looking like you haven't had a haircut and fucking. I haven't been. I'm just not coming out of like a 35 plus day quarantine. I've been in jail, like in the house. I haven't been outside for real. I've been on social media. I've been like I ducked myself out to the world because I knew that I was being pulled to go inward and start addressing some internal stuff because I didn't want my internal dealings to delay what's to come for us.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing, that's why I'm saying I'm so glad we didn't receive all the external stuff that we deem as success early on. Because success to me is getting all the internal stuff and then being what we needed to be first and then getting
Be,
the
do,
external.
have.
Be, do, have. I had to go be what I wanted first before I go get what we want. And
Yep.
that has what's been the past 2 years
Bro.
since that has what been the past 2 years been about this whole time, bro.
Yes.
That's what is this whole journey. And as of today on this podcast, I can officially and finally say I am rich.
Yeah.
I am abundant.
Finally.
I'm
Can
black
we
and
pass this
motherfucking
test?
abundant, rich, fulfilled, happy, love, living my best motherfucking life.
Yes.
From the inside, not what all the external say, from the inside, and nobody can stop that.
Yep. And y'all, I want to, so that you can see, because we've been saying how valuable this lesson is, that success is internal, but I want you guys to understand what we had to go through to get that lesson.
Talk about it.
Because I don't want people out here, like, I'm tired of seeing the entrepreneurs that got rich on their first try. You know what I'm saying? That it made 100 bands within 90 days. Like, tired of seeing that. And I know that y'all are tired too, especially if you're an entrepreneur on this journey. And I'm not saying those people don't exist or that they're not real, but I'm saying everybody's journey is different.
Yep.
And you can't expect that your journey is going to be like yours. And just because your journey does not look like yours does not mean that your journey is not working. And that's been our biggest thing, is we've been trying to make peace with the fact, okay, even though it doesn't look like it's working, and all these millionaires on freaking YouTube saying it has to be this, you have to do it this way, we have to trust our own process,
right,
and trust our own journey. But to let you know what that journey looks like. So back in 2022, you said we had $150,000. Okay, we spent it. We invested it. All right. So a year later,
we invested into ourselves.
Yes, invested into ourselves and into our dream. And we ended up starting J-Skill Capital, which hopefully y'all have already seen a commercial for this because it already dropped in there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we started J-Skill Capital in December 2022, and then around that next year, I can't even remember. That's when we ran out of money. And
do we want to just go ahead and lay it all out on the table, like what we went through? We got to. We need to use this first episode to lay it all out on the table. Let people know what the fuck we've been going through, what we dealing with, and we had to go through that to get to this. And for anybody, but especially, man, when you're on a mission, bro, you have to hold that beautiful thought. I just had to throw this in there. You have to have a laying, a brick by brick foundation mentality. Because look at your life and what you're set out to do as if you're building a brick wall. You don't want to skip steps of the process. That's the worst thing that you can do. Lay that brick, one brick at a time. And when you focus on that every single day, you're going to look up one day, your brick wall is going to be built. The brick wall is now finally built, and we're still building it.
Yep.
Now I'm telling you, get a good picture of us right now, y'all, because we are in the energy of knowing
it's finna blow the fuck
that this shit finna take off. It's a difference between like knowing it, like, and just believing. No, we don't believe that it, like we know for a fact, because this energy, this feeling, it won't leave us alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I want everybody to see, like, take a good look right now, because it's finna take off, bro.
Yep. And so giving you the mindset of where we were. So we started J-Skill Capital December 2022, and 2023 is when we ran out of money. Okay. That's when bills started to go unpaid.
Yep.
And things started to get turned off.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think
what happened?
I think our water went off first.
Like September, October.
Yeah, I think it was October. Yeah. So October 2023 is when our water went off. I think our gas went off that November. We kept electric. At the end of the day, we needed that electric. We needed Wi-Fi, okay? Yeah. And that's how we make our money. That's how we run our business. So yeah, water went off, gas went off. So keep in mind, this is like November, December. It's getting cold.
Getting cold.
And this house is big. Okay. So it's freezing in here.
We will wake up some mornings, it would be like 18 degrees, and we'll wake up and you can just see the frost on your breath.
Yes.
Like, so water cut off, you know, the electric,
or the
gas cut off. So we had no heat. We had no heat
and no water.
No water. All we had was...
Pause. Do y'all even understand what it's like to not have water? Do y'all know what that looks like? Do you know what things run on water? Okay, so washing dishes. Okay, you got to wash your dishes, right? Can't do that without water. You cannot wash your hands. You cannot wash your body without water. Here's the kicker that I didn't think about. You can't flush the toilet
without water.
Yep. You cannot flush the toilet without water. So,
what we was doing every day?
Shitting in bags.
Yep. Keep it 100. We became so it became so routine. Like we built a new skill with shitting in bags, boy.
We had it on lock and key. We had a whole routine behind it. Okay, I had a cup that sat by the window. I was
keep it 100. Like this is the journey of getting to what it is you want for your life. Like
I had a cup on the windowsill. We have a window in the bathroom, so when I had to use the bathroom, I would just use the bathroom in the cup and then pour it out the window.
To pee, you would pee in the cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't poop in the cup. I would pee in the cup and throw it out the window. Yeah. Because what are we supposed to do? We don't have water. And keep in mind, we didn't have water for almost like 6
months without water. And this is and take it even further, what we had to do. So even then, I knew that this was only temporary.
Yeah.
When you're set out on the journey of achieving the goals and dreams that you set out for you in your life, the question that you got to ask yourself: how far are you willing to go to get to the outcome that you desire? How far? What are you willing to sacrifice? And I hear some of y'all now, y'all should have just went back to a job. Like, why y'all was stupid and dumb for quitting a job anyway. What I want to say to y'all, hey, look, this is our we don't respectfully fuck y'all. Respectfully, we love you, but fuck you. Yeah. We have to because look, this is our journey. And one thing we was having a conversation recently, like, hey, this is our journey. We own it and we stand on it. We stand on our journey. This is our journey, and this is what it looks like for us. And when you make a decision to think for yourself, when you make a decision to create your own path, to go your own way, what you're saying is that you have to deprogram from the collective thinking of the masses, that how the masses are taught to think and do things. So if you want to create your own life, that means you have to go on a spiritual internal journey of stripping away everything that you was taught, the belief system that you were giving. You got to question every single thing that you was taught and given, because whether you realize or not, some of the things that you believe, you didn't come across those beliefs yourself. They were given to you. So you owe it to yourself to ask yourself, hey, is this a belief that I came on by myself, or was it given to it? And you owe it to yourself to question. And then also, so I say that to say that we made that decision for our lives. Like, we're going to think for ourselves. We're going to create our own. We're going to do for ourselves. And we're going to go through whatever we need to go through to create that life for us. Yep. And we went through hell.
Yeah.
So yes, we went from a physical realm. We went through what you would call like hell, just going through stuff. But in the midst of all that, I knew that this was only temporary, and that was all a part of the journey. Because every single thing that we go through, we have to grow through, and it's going to teach you more about yourself, but you won't get the lesson if you give up.
So I want to correct that a little bit, because I don't want to act like we were completely okay during this season.
Oh yeah,
because we were not.
We wasn't.
But even though, like, we kept telling ourselves that this is just part of the process, that this is just part of the story, this is just what we have to go through, it still doesn't change everything that's going on around us and how we feel about it. It doesn't change the fact that we don't have water. It doesn't change the fact that we don't have heat in the middle of the winter. It doesn't change the fact that we were literally 24 hours away from our house getting foreclosed on. Like, it was bad. And when you think about how you feel in those moments, like, you feel so defeated, you start questioning yourself, like, damn, did we really do this the right way?
Mm-hmm.
Like, should we have quit our jobs? Did we, like, was everybody right about us? And it's so humbling when you have to, like, when you step away, when you step out of the box, you do something different, and the people that you love are against you. They're like, that's not smart. And then you have to go to them
Mm-hmm.
and tell them that you ain't got no water, that
Mm-hmm.
you ain't got no fucking gas, that your house getting foreclosed on and you need help. That is literally the
Yeah.
most humbling, horrible experience that I wouldn't wish upon my own enemy, because it tears at your ego
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you question yourself. And that's this place that we were in. Like, yes, we were still committed to the journey and we knew that eventually we would be successful, but it's still hard to see past
Yeah.
what's going on in the present.
Yep.
So, the reason why I bring this story up is because I wanted to express to you guys how we literally had to have everything taken away from us
Yep.
in order to humble us.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like Jamal said, you don't recognize that you have certain beliefs, certain ideologies, the way that you think, the way that you react to things. That's based off of your past experiences and the way that you were raised,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, when you decide to step out and do something different, all of your beliefs are challenged.
Yep.
So now when we are sitting here in the freezing cold, trying to figure out what the hell we were going to do, we had to challenge our mindset around money.
Facts.
How do you feel safe and secure without money? Who are you when you're not just trying to make money?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a lesson that we were able to learn until we had no money. So, but again, I'm grateful that we're learning the
For
lesson
sure.
now and not when we, actually made money and would lose it, right? So I'm grateful for the experience. But
We gotta tell people more what was going on during this time.
what also happened?
Like, remember, like, we had to get through the day. Like, we still had to function and do what we needed to do. We still had to build the brands, build J School Capital, do
Yeah.
what we needed to do. So this was the routine that I had. I would wake up every day or every other day at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would drive to the local park. And thankfully, at this park, there was like a
Water
water
fountain?
fountain that it would
It's like
like
to fill up
spiral, like you can
bottles.
fill up bottles and
Yeah.
stuff at a fast rate. So I would wake up like 3, 4 in the morning and go, and I would have like 20 gallon, like individual, like 1 gallon, like water bottle jugs. And I just one day I so happened to find like a 5 gallon like water jug. So I would take all that with me and I would fill it up so we could have water for the next 2 days. So we'll do dishes, take a bath, and all that stuff. So I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It would be freezing cold out
Yeah.
there. And I got videos because I'm going to post this because you got to see how far we came.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just remember doing that. And then we had like speaking events.
Oh my
You know what I'm saying?
God.
But we would show up on stage, present ourselves as J School Cowboy doing these things, and like to the world we look
Oh,
like we winning.
I'm sure
But
y'all thought we
people,
had money.
yeah, to the world we look like we're
Lord
successful,
have
we
mercy.
winning, we doing all these things, but they don't know that when we get home, we ain't got no water, no heat.
Yep.
But hey,
Yep.
you
That's
know,
how it was.
that's how it was, bro.
That's how it was. And I'm very grateful for the period that we went through, and we did get out of it. Like last year was our year, because that I don't think we got our water and stuff back on until March of last year. So this time last year, we did not have water or heat.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, this time last year, we didn't have this couch. We would have not been sitting here in this warm environment. We probably would have been cuddled up in the office next to a heater.
Yeah,
right now.
We was cuddled up in the office, still, doing what we had to do.
Just working our ass off.
Yeah, work.
And now, in contrast, I want to talk about where we are as far as the past few months. So,
Okay.
as you guys know, I started back my influencing content creator career. So, the agreement was way back when we both quit our jobs that we would pour everything into what Jamal wanted to do until it got to where it needed to be to take care of both of us. And then I would be able to have the space to go do what I wanted to do. Well, we get to May of last year, and keep in mind, like just 2 months prior, we didn't have water or heat. So we were just coming out of this hole and
Yeah.
things weren't looking necessarily the best. But I was like, babe, I can't delay anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's been 2 years. I want to do what I love to do. I want to pour into my dreams now, and we'll figure it out. So we were able to start, and I'm grateful. But in the midst of me, building out my content and stuff like that, we were also just trying to make ends meet. So we
Yeah.
at least we had water and heat, but we were still living like month to month,
Yeah.
not paycheck to paycheck, but like month to month. Like, we gotta get these clients in, we gotta do this, we gotta make money. I ended up getting a job. He ended up getting a job.
Yep.
Like,
I went back to work for a few months, you know what I'm
Yeah, so
saying?
did I.
Shout out to Angel, Angelique, aka Angel, back there on the board, ones and two. Man, you my dog. Like,
Yeah.
we got, so thank you. But went back to where we met. But yeah, you went to work and stuff like that.
Yep. And then in September, that's when I hit around like 50K or something like that. That's when things really started to like blow up.
Yeah.
And was talking to one of our mentors. Shout out to Naveen.
Naveen, bro, my
we
dog.
gotta tap in with
we
you.
gonna
I'm
tap
sorry.
in with you, bro.
He probably ain't even listen. Who knows? But anyway, we were talking to one of our mentors, Naveen, and he kind of made a comment. Okay, so Naveen, him and his wife do content on TikTok, and they're like TikTok famous, millions, like killing the game, like making so much money off of social media and stuff. So Naveen's
great people.
Yeah, he's a wonderful
man.
They have a great marriage. They're great parents. Like, we just really, when we look at them, we see like a future version of ourselves, right? So
thank you, Naveen.
Yeah, saying that to say, like, we really truly respect him and his opinion and the way that he, leads his family.
Yep.
So he made a comment saying that, his wife doesn't pay for anything. Like, even though his wife is his content creator and she makes a lot of money, he's still responsible for paying everything. She makes money because she wants to, not because she has to.
That's different. That's different.
And I was like, okay, what you think about that, Jamal? You trying to... But he basically, like, he said this to Jamal. He was like, I don't know how y'all, do your marriage, but this is what I do in mine.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. When I heard that, I couldn't do nothing but respect that. That was on some, like, in my eyes, I was like, bro, that's some big dog shit right there. I want that. Like, just imagine, you're able to give your queen, your wife, your life partner, the choice to say, hey, you can be creative and do what you want to, just because you want to, not because you have to. Can you just imagine the type of energy she's going to bring into the house when she's purely operating from that space, when she don't have to think about money?
Yep.
And she can just create, because women, that's what they born to do. They create and they multiply. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I just thought that was so dope. So that right there turned me up, bro.
Yep. So of course Jamal had to, start implementing it with our family. That's what I love about him. Every time he sees something that could better us, he's willing to give it a shot. And that's how our marriage is. Like, we understand that, sidebar, we understand that our marriage doesn't have to look like anybody else's marriage, and we can literally make our own rules as long as we're both happy. Then who cares what anybody else thinks about how we operate within our marriage?
Right.
But we're always willing to try something at least once, especially if we believe that it can be something that's beneficial to us in our marriage. Like, why not just try it out and see how it goes? Right. So we were like, let's just give it a shot and see how it makes us feel. So I took a step back away from J-Sco Capital, and Jamal gave me the space to just do whatever I wanted to. And I ultimately decided then that I would also take a step back from social media. Because
tell them what that process was like for you in your life. What did you go through?
So that's what,
because a lot of women, I'm pretty sure that they never even thought to do that. They never have been given that choice, and they just can't fathom like what that is like. And some women probably aspire to want to even have their lifestyle, but like, keep it 100 with them. Like, what was that transition, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like, for you?
So going back to when we said that when you step outside and you decide to do something different, all of your beliefs will be challenged. That's immediately what happened the moment that we decided, that I would no longer have to make any money and Jamal would be the sole provider for the house. I immediately went into like this state of not feeling like enough. And the reason being is because I grew up in a very like matriarch type household environment. We have a lot of strong women in my family. And there aren't honestly many men. I feel like it's literally just you and my uncle. Yeah, literally it's just you and my uncle surrounded by a bunch of women. So I grew up in this mindset that women are supposed to do it all. Like they're supposed to work, they're supposed to take care of the family, they're supposed to provide, but they're also supposed to nurture. Like my mom was a single mom, so like and even when she had a boyfriend around the house, like he went shit. You know what I'm saying? He went.
Yeah, damn.
Hey, it is what it is. He went shit. So he went contributing what he needed to the household. So my mom never felt safe. She never felt like she could just relax in her feminine and, just do what a woman is supposed to do rather than always trying to like protect and provide all the time. So when I was taken out of the seat of being a protector and provider, I had to look at myself like, okay, then what am I? What am I? What does a woman supposed to do? I've never even seen an example of a stay-at-home wife. So what does it mean to be a wife? And Jamal is one of those people where like one of those men where he just takes care of everything. Like he can cook, he can clean, like he can literally do everything for himself. Whether I'm here or not, he's going to take care of it. And he still does that. Like he'll wake up and clean the dishes before I even get out of bed. You know what I'm saying? So I have this amazing man who's not only protecting and providing, but he's also doing shit around the house. So what am I? Am I just like, I'm just a leech now? Like I'm just, feeding off of what he's doing. So I went through a whole identity crisis.
Wow.
Honestly. And that's why I decided to take a step back from social media, because as I was going through this identity crisis and all this spiritual warfare, I also had tens of thousands of people calling me all types of shit on social media. You know what I'm saying? Every time I open my phone, somebody calling me a failed swirler or saying that my husband's cheating on me or saying that I don't know, like literally. So it just became too much. It just became way too much. So that's why I stopped creating content, took a step back from J-Skill Capital, and I just sat here. Literally for 2 months, I just sat here and I beat myself about it. I beat myself up about it the entire time. But I had to put myself in that space in order to figure out who I am. And not many people are granted that opportunity to figure out who they are when they're not trying to survive. Like what happens when you don't have to like fight for survival every day? Like I've literally spent my entire life, not just monetarily, but even spiritually, emotionally. I've spent every day of my entire life just trying to survive. Wow. Just trying to protect myself, just trying to provide for myself. Like, and I'm not saying that nobody took care of me or provided for me in the process, but even just the mindset of feeling like you're on your own. You know what I'm saying? Or that every decision that you make has to keep making money in the future in your mind. Like, for example, I didn't want to be an engineer. I didn't want to get an engineering degree. I was just good at math. And everybody said I needed to be an engineer. But my mom told me you need to have a career that makes money. So it was doctor, lawyer, engineer. I don't like arguing, nor do I like blood. So I really only had one choice. But you see, I'm not using it today. And I only used it for a year. You know what I'm saying? But all of my decisions were so that I could make money to survive. And I had to even question if creating content was something that I want to do. Or is this just something that I know could make a lot of money in the future? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had to take a step back and figure out what is me and what is me in survival mode. Like, who am I without all of that? And thankfully, I have an amazing husband that allowed me to take a seat and just do nothing and constantly remind me through that process, babe, you are enough. Babe, you bring enough to the table. You're doing your duties as a wife. I thought I was a terrible wife. Like, I went through all types of emotions, right? But he was constantly reminding me that, I am enough and that I am allowed to take this space. because now I understand what I really want to do and who I really want to be, not taking money into consideration. And that's such a freeing experience.
That's some good shit right there.
Thank
I
you.
don't even know where to go from there. Like that, I'm just sitting here,
Okay.
just reminiscing, and like I remember that.
I want to talk about you
Okay.
and what you've been going through that process. Because I mean, during this process, I transformed into what I feel like a woman is supposed to do, a wife is supposed to do in a relationship, which is protect and elevate our family spiritually and emotionally. So during the sit down period, I have been focusing deeply within, facing some of the most traumatic events in my life. I'm writing a book right now.
Woo!
Writing a book right
Fire.
now. And in every chapter, I talk about one of the most traumatic experiences that happened to me in my life. And I'm talking about it from like a teaching perspective, talking about what I learned from the experience. But in order to do that, I had to write about the experience. And writing about the experience forced me back in time to address some memories that I had repressed and I didn't even know that I had. So while I'm uprooting all of these traumas and I'm coming to this new realizations, I'm starting to notice things about Jamal and his growth, and I'm bringing them to his attention. So now Jamal is being forced into this spiritual transformation as well. So I wanted to talk about what the past few months have been like for you, but also you're about to be 30. By the time you guys are watching this, this is actually releasing on Jamal's 30th birthday. So when y'all are watching this, Jamal will be 30 years old.
Hey,
Yay!
hey.
But we've had so many realizations leading up to 30, right? And questioning who you are as a man, you know, leading up to 30. So I want him to talk about that.
Ask me some questions because it's so much. It's so much, bro.
Talk about your struggles with manhood. So stepping into the sole provider role. And then you're starting to question where you are in your journey and if you're showing up as a protector and provider as you're supposed to be. Especially going into 30 years old and not feeling like you're where you're supposed to be as a man and not feeling like enough in that regard.
Yeah. A lot of it, that's deep. That's a loaded question, man. Let me think on that.
Okay.
Going back to when we made the decision that I would become, sole provider, and when was that? Like 6 months ago?
No, September. It's like 3-4 months ago.
Okay.
It's like the end of September.
Okay. Dang. Okay.
I know, right?
And I would say from September up until today has been the man. Um, I'm thinking a lot of just be asking like, where am I getting all these ideologies from? Like, who told me this? Like, cause a lot of this stuff that what I deem as manhood and shit like that.
What did you deem as manhood?
Okay. Let's see. You gotta have this amount of money in your bank account you got to be making sure that you're providing on all fronts 100%, and you got to protect your family, like, yes, be a leader and all these things, like, yes, that's the goal. But I was definitely being extremely hard on myself, and I'm still honestly being real with y'all, defining like what manhood is to me. I'm still on the journey. I don't have it all figured out, but I do have somewhat of a foundation of understanding from examples from, shout out to my pops, my grandfather, who laid the foundation for me, and I learned a lot from him. I'm just taking his teachings, such as, now one thing I can say about him, man, he told me like, hey, never have do a job, always show up, discipline and hard work, and just making sure your family is taken care of. So that's the best thing that could have ever happened to me is growing up in a 2-parent household. That was the best thing. I'm so blessed and grateful. And inside this 2-parent household, actually having a stand up man who stood on principle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't get nothing past him. Like, he meant what he said. He was a man of his word. That's a big deal. So that's where I'm still coming from to this day. But but I'm being my own, becoming my own man every single day and defining what that is to me. But fast forward to when we made the decision for me to go to sole provider, like I ain't gonna lie, that was hard. It was one of the most challenging things that I ever went through. But what's interesting, the most challenging things when you're faced with a challenge, you could do one or two things. You can bitch out, or you can see it through. And one thing I realized that I had to remind myself in these opportunities, these growth opportunities, I had to ask myself, okay, well, who are you, bro? You get to define and write what a man is, or what's your like what manhood is to you. Write it, design it.
Yeah.
So I had to ask myself, all right, you a winner or a loser, bro? I'm a winner. What losers do? Losers make excuses. Excuses. What winners do? Winners make adjustments. So I had to be in a continuous state of making adjustments, in real time, and using this opportunity to acknowledge, like, bro, what you feeling through these moments? Like, what emotions are you going through in these experiences and stuff? Using this time, I had to shut out the world, go in, start journaling my thoughts and going through my process and stuff like that, and going through a whole learning curve. Like, damn, you mean to tell me I'm a sole provider? Like, bro, I literally can't make no excuses, man. Like, damn, like I seek validation from my wife when I'm accomplishing stuff and handling my business as a man. Like, I need for her to see it, like I'm doing my stuff. And then there's moments in time where like, damn, I'm falling short. I like, fuck. Like, what am I gonna do, man? Like, cause she need me right now. Like, damn, you ain't handling your stuff. But I had to let that go. Like no, you're doing great. You know what I'm saying? And I had to be my own cheerleader, remind myself that, like, despite what's going on outside of you, bro, you have to literally remind yourself, like, bro, be patient with yourself, my nigga. Learn patience, bro. You've already made a decision and commitment within your mind that, like, hey, this is who you're becoming. Like, you are the sole provider. Your reality got to catch up to what you know on the inside. And that's what this whole process has been since we made that decision. Just, all right, I had to determine within myself what it's going to be. And just because you make that decision within yourself what it's going to be, things are not going to change right then, but you have to trust God, have faith in yourself, and wake up every single day as that's your number one mission. And that's what I was doing every day. That was my number one to this day. No matter what, it's sole providership. I'm gonna figure this out. Nothing else matters.
I want to hit on. Do y'all hear the pressure?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all hear the pressure that Jamal has been under when he decided to step into sole providership? And it's not just then; it was before then as well. He's always had this pressure on himself as a man to succeed financially and provide financially. Y'all hear how much I edify this man on social media. You hear, like, he comes from a house of standards and principles. He foundationally, Jamal is such an amazing man. Yet a man as amazing as him could also feel like they're not enough.
Yep.
Because the numbers aren't numbering in the bank account. And I understand, look at society today. Like, we glorify men making money. We put all of the value into how much money a man makes. And how is that fair to the man? Because I can tell you a million times over, my husband is amazingly valuable in so many ways, long before it has nothing to do with money. Like, I'll say this and I'll say it again. I loved him when he was on the couch, sleeping on the couch with nothing. I loved him then. I love him the same way now. And I've always seen that he is successful. And that's what I've been having to remind him through this process and just pour into him. Because even though he's very strong, under that much pressure, he cannot handle all of that by himself. As his woman, as his wife, it is my role to protect him and lift him up emotionally and spiritually, because that can become a weight on him. So I have to constantly remind him, like, babe, you are successful without the numbers. Fuck the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had nothing before. You know, like we've had nothing before. Who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares about any of that? What I care about more is the fact I get to spend time with my husband. I get to be at home with my husband. I could give a damn if we bringing in $1 or $10,000. You know what I'm saying? I get to be at home with my husband right now. I get to spend time with my husband. That's success to me.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we have the capacity to spend time together, that is success to me.
Yeah, we built something that allows us to be able to live that lifestyle.
Yep.
And fast forward to today, that is our life. We're successful in our own way, and we're
Yeah.
gonna take some time to just kind of let y'all know where we are today. But like, to be real, just going back to that decision in the beginning to all right, become a sole proprietorship, that decision right there opened up a can of triggers.
Mm.
A can of triggers. Like, I started, man, when I tell you, stuff started coming out of me that I didn't even recognize and realize. I'm just wondering, dang, why am I feeling this way? What is this emotion? Like, why am I reacting this way? Why, just out of just nowhere. And when I back to what I was saying earlier, like, yo, the past few months has been some of the most spiritually challenging moments, but the best things that was the best decision that we could have made, making me sole provider, because in order to go up in life, you have to give up something. You have to shed your old self. You have to go inside and become exposed to you. Like and that's what this whole process was like, man. And one of the biggest realizations that I realized, then and now is that a lot of my triggers comes from this unfilled hole within myself of not feeling like I'm enough. And there was moments in this journey where I just felt like I wasn't enough. And I would share that with you, and you will see me. Like, there was moments where, like, I'm being emotional, and I'm just venting out to you, don't know what the fuck is going on with me. And you know what you had to do in that time? You couldn't come and rescue me and save me. You had to let me deal with it. Like, because you over there dealing with your own stuff, or, being in this season, like, dang, you already feel bad that you ain't,
I feel like I'm not enough.
Exactly. But in order for us to get solid within ourselves, you have to stay in that seat.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing, even your own husband.
Yeah.
You can't come to his rescue as much as you wanted to, because that's what you've been used to doing.
And as much as I can tell you, how successful you are, how great of a husband you are, as much as you can tell me how great of a wife I am, we can't believe each other, because it's just, that's the belief that we have, and
Exactly.
we have to uproot that for ourselves.
Exactly, and that's the key thing. And our number one job in each other's lives is being each other's support system. We can only support each other to reach in wholeness and fulfillment within ourselves. It's not our jobs to do that for each other, and that's a good point. It's like, you had to remind me, like, babe, look, you got this. And that same with me, babe, you got this.
Yep.
Stay diligent in that. We gonna figure this out. As long as we got each other, you feel me? We gonna figure this thing out together. And I realized, like, yo, I don't even know where I lost where I was going with that. But the whole thing about feeling like I'm not enough.
Yeah, I want to expound on that, like, for real.
And that realization was the best things that could ever happen to me as well in this process, because that took me on the journey of going inward within myself. Like I said earlier, y'all know, like, I quarantined myself for the past 35 days. I only went outside maybe 3-4 times.
To the grocery store.
To the grocery store, to go, to the gas station or something like that, or run an errand or something. But I've been in the house. And what I've been doing throughout this whole time, I've been learning a new skill set. I've been doing some deep shadow work. I've been doing some deep spiritual work. I've been building J School Capital. I've been learning how I can be a better husband, a better leader and provider. And I shut out social media. But you know what's also, what happens when you shut out the noise and you lock in on yourself? You create an opportunity for you to become aware of your triggers. And one of my biggest triggers, like I said, just feeling like I'm not enough. And I realized that was linked to my childhood because of my relationship with my parents. And then for those out there, hey, if you have an inconsistent relationship with your parents, whether they not been in your life coming up, or that just the relationship is inconsistency, 9 times out of 10, you dealing with some type of,
Feeling like you're not
baggage or
enough.
feeling like you're not enough. And I want to encourage y'all, man, go in and deal with that, because if you don't, you're gonna seek the world to fill that hole for yourself.
Mm.
And you'll never be like happy. You'll just always be chasing temporary highs. You'll always be chasing temporary fulfillments. You gonna think that car is gonna bring you happiness, but it's only just a temporary satisfaction. And you're gonna realize that I'm still dealing with the hole in myself. And that's why I'm glad I'm so glad the big external successes has not come yet, because I needed to work through this first.
Yeah.
And it all started when you made the decision to step away and make me sole provider. That was the best thing that could have happened for me, because
Yeah.
it took me on a spiritual
You
journey.
had no choice.
Had no choice.
You had no choice but to face it.
That's level up. That's what leveling up is all about. Not leveling up when you see the fancy stuff. No. Have you leveled up in your spiritual life, in your mental life, your emotional life? That's real level up.
Are you successful within?
Are
If
you
you took a-
successful within?
If you took away all of the money, all the clothes, the house, the cars, all of that, would you still feel like enough?
Mm,
And you don't know that until you don't have those things.
exactly.
Which is why we were able to figure that out for ourselves. And I'm so, so grateful for the journey that we went on. But I also want to dive into the fact of you have to get comfortable and accept where you are in the present, even if you're not where you desire to be.
Bar.
You are worthy right now as you are in the process of becoming. And that was my major fallback, speaking for myself.
Same.
Is that I just always thought, okay, well, when I have this amount of followers, when I have this amount of money, when I'm able to move here, when I'm able to do this, when I have this, then I'll be successful.
Yep.
Then I'll be worthy. Then I'll be happy. Like that came from my parents as well, like having absent parents and just feeling like I always have to do to earn their love, to earn their acceptance and their respect. But in reality, all I was doing is driving myself into the ground based on how I want other people to see me and how I want other people to treat me. I just felt like if I just keep earning whatever that looks like, a degree, a new job, some money, whatever, if I just keep earning, then people will love me more. That's the negative belief that was deeply embedded within myself. And when I stopped earning, when I had no choice but just to sit here and do nothing, I had to face the fact of I don't have to earn just for people to love me. I can be loved and do nothing. Jamal taught me I can do nothing and still be loved. And that has been such a healing experience for me. And I just want to share that with y'all. Don't feel like just because you're not where you're supposed to be, or where you're supposed to be, quote unquote, or where you want to be, that you're not deserving of love and respect. And that's what's been holding us back, is we just felt like we had to get the externals. When we get the externals, then we'll feel how we really want internally. We'll feel that love and that respect that we genuinely want internally. We'll feel that hole in our heart, but it doesn't work that way.
Yep, it doesn't.
The universe doesn't work that way. The world is just a reflection of your internal.
There you go.
The external is literally just a reflection of how you feel internally. If you're broke on the outside, it's because you're broke on the inside.
Hey, say that running back, Turbo.
If you are broke on the outside, it's because you're broke on the inside. And that is why we had to get humbled. That's why we didn't have water, why we didn't have heat, why we were about to get forced closed on, because we had to learn the lesson that our external achievements do not define who we are. We had to learn how to love ourselves even when we had nothing. And that's something that's so hard to do, especially in society today. So I guess the main point that I wanted to take away from this is that, you guys, like, success is all within. But add to that.
That's abundance, y'all. That's what, and that now we can officially say, hey, welcome to the revamp of Black and Abundant podcast, where we will really get y'all game on what it really truly means to be black and abundant.
Yep.
That right there is being black and abundant. When you have nothing, you still feel rich as fuck. When you have everything taken away from you, you still feel the same. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't have nothing, whatever, you just feel whatever you internally first. You
Yep.
being rich within first. You being wealthy within first. You being loved within first. It's not seeking love from outside. No, you have that within yourself. You feeling needed, and what was it that we dealt with? What I dealt with? What was it?
Enough. Feel like
Enough. You feel enough within.
Yep.
That's abundant. That's what being black and abundant.
Yep.
So,
I
man,
just want to remind you guys, I want to go back to saying you cannot have anything externally until you can have it internally.
mm-hmm,
So the reason why you want money is because you want to feel secure,
mm-hmm,
right? Everything that you want externally is because you desire a feeling. You desire to feel happy. You desire to feel love. You desire to feel successful. You desire to feel secure, whatever it is. Everything that you want externally is because you want to feel some type of way internally.
mm-hmm.
What if you could feel the way that you want internally without having the external stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That
That's a
is
bar.
true success right there.
Yep.
What if instead of grinding and sacrificing and delaying and fretting over getting all of this external stuff to feel some type of way, why don't you just feel some type of way? And then the external will come. Remember, you cannot have what you don't already have. If you do not have it internally, you cannot have it externally. So if you want to feel secure, if you want money to feel secure, you're not going to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
If you want money to feel secure, you're not going to make more money. If you can feel secure, then the money will come to you
Naturally.
And that's how we know
mm-hmm.
what's coming for us is great, because we've figured out how to feel successful, how to feel secure without having it.
We cracked the code finally. We finally cracked the code.
Years
and
later.
Hey, shout out to the Most High. Shout out to God, big guy. You my dog. We have our own personal spiritual relationship. What God is to us. Whatever how God is, y'all believe, we respect that. But shout out to our dog, God, because we had to become one with God, understand how this shit really worked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm so glad that we didn't get the external successes before we cracked the code.
Yeah. We needed to.
We need, like, the worst thing look, I'm so glad, like, the worst thing that can happen is you get the external stuff before you have it internally first.
Yeah.
I don't want that type of smoke.
I
don't want that. No. So if y'all are currently on that journey right now, you are telling yourself that you're achieving external success, seeking the approval from your peers, your family, your friends, the social media. You put this on because you think such and such is going to give you the respect that you finally deserve.
Mm-hmm.
You got you whatever, all this, that you get that job, you get that car, you can't afford that car right now. That's outside your budget. But you're leading, motivating decision because somebody in your life, you was concerned about how they gonna feel and how they gonna perceive you. You finally think that they gonna give you that respect and love that you deserve. You're setting yourself up for a life of failure. Don't do that.
Set yourself free.
Set yourself free, and we can officially and finally say, like, hey, we living in freedom over here.
And that's not to say we're perfect.
That part.
That's not to say we're perfect or that we get it right every time, because we're human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And when you go thinking a certain way or believing certain things for years, like 27, almost 30 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to just uproot that overnight. We still have flashes of not feeling like enough. We still have flashes of feeling insecure or feeling broke, or like it's hard to uproot that. It's a transition, but we've already started it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's already clicked for us. And now we recognize that when we have those moments, oh, that's just our old reality trying to pull us back.
Yeah.
And we ignore that. You know what I'm saying? And we're here with each other, thankfully, to hold each other accountable to that too.
And we got to throw this in there. When you make the decision to start looking at life from an internal perspective and instead of external, here's what's going to happen. When you make the decision to level up spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because remember, this physical realm, the reality, the external, that's only like 1-2% of what you see. Most of the work is in the mental and the spiritual. That's the other 98%. Your mission should be mastering the mental and spiritual and emotional aspect of who you are. because that's where all of the real work is at. And when you make that decision to start thinking for yourself, doing for yourself, start doing the shadow work, the working on your triggers, and working on becoming fulfilled and giving all of that validation self first, and you make the decision to level up, what's going to happen? Shit is just going to start to happen. Random stuff. But and I want to just tell you to look out for that. Honestly, expect it, because that's just how the game goes. Because what happens when you make that decision, the world, the universe is going to be like,
Test you.
it's going to test you. It's like imagine like you have like parchment paper or like some type of paper or something, and you trying to poke a hole to get out of it. You trying to break out of it, and the universe is like, oh, you trying to think for yourself? Oh, your whole life you've been going on this path. This whole life you've been thinking this one way. You've been going about this one way. You've been energetically in this space and operating in this energetic space. This is your rhythm. This is your rhythm that you've been operating in your whole life. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you want to change that rhythm. What the universe is going to do is try to knock you back down.
Yep.
To put you back in place, because
you disrupting the
flow.
flow.
You disrupting that energetic flow. Get back in alignment in space. So what that looks like is things outside of you will start to try to like, will just start happening to put you back in place, so you can get back and fall back in line. But that is there to test you, but you have to see it for what it is. See it for what it is. Remember, I'm saying see it for what it is. And tell yourself, just because these things are happening externally does not mean that I have to change the path that I'm going within myself internally.
Yep.
You got to get to a place to where no matter what happens on the outside of me, I'm going to determine how this makes me feel internally.
Yep.
And you have to stay consistent in that for a period of time, and that has to become your way of thinking. That has to become your new energy. And then there's going to be a moment in time when you break through that paper.
Yep.
And then and also look at it this way too, like you have to give the universe time
to
calibrate.
Yep.
You got to stay strong and bold through your calibration period. And that's what we've been going through.
This is just the calibration period.
For the past 2 years, we've been going through our calibration. And now we're just in a completely new space. And she said earlier, hey, we're not perfect. We're not perfect, but we're very productive and progressive. Because our core foundation in our relationship is growth. Growth. We're committed to growth. Long as we're committed to growth, we're gonna rock this thing and do this thing to the end of the world, bro.
Yep.
You know, and growth and change is never fun.
Nope. There's always pain involved. You
have to commit to a process. And what I realized, a lot of people disqualify themselves from going to new levels in their life because they are afraid of going through the process of change, because the process of change is very painful. You have to understand, like, that's what it takes to grow. You have to be willing to let go of your old self. And what I learned is a lot of people are not willing to let go of people in their life. A lot of people are not willing to let go of certain thought processes. A lot of people are not willing to let go of certain belief systems that they held on for years. In order to go up in your life, you have to give up something.
Yeah.
And you have to give up your old version of yourself.
Yep.
And
I love that.
So yeah, I think we should
wrap it up.
Yeah, before we wrap it up, let's talk about where we at today and in our journeys and what we got going on and stuff like that.
I mean, what is there to know?
I know for you, hey, look, your platform popping.
They know that. That's where they came from.
Yeah, I know. Hey, shout out to that, man. And J-Sco Capital rocking. Hey, look, J-Sco Capital is rocking, y'all.
We've had the best months that we've ever had.
Shout out to all the new people
in business.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I'm if I may.
Yeah.
I'm in a place finally in my business. Like, look, all my entrepreneurs that's on their path, man, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. We had to go through hell to get to where we at. But we in heaven now, you know, and we're continuously being in heaven, what heaven is to us. It's not perfect, but we're in a great space. We sleep good at night.
If you're an entrepreneur out there, Stop chasing external
Stop
heaven
chasing
and
external.
start
Yeah.
putting all of your attention towards internal heaven. That don't mean stop doing the work. Do the work, obviously.
Do the work.
But at the same time, learn to find the little joy in things. Like I had to tell Jamal recently, this was literally like last week. We had a whole argument about it. But Jamal was in this place where he felt like he needed to go through another season of just being in the house. Just being in the house, staying away from everybody. And I was like, no, I am tired of living like this. I'm tired of grinding. I'm tired of sacrificing. I'm tired of delaying. When do we get to live life? Like, I'm in here with my husband every single day, but when was the last time that we actually had quality time together? You know what I'm saying? When's the last time we went on a date? When's the last time we went out somewhere? And we used to, I used to be okay with not doing those things because I had it ingrained in my mind that we had to delay. But my spiritual growth that I've been on has shown me that no, you don't have to delay life. That doesn't mean that you have to go out and splurge, okay? I'm not saying that, spend money that you don't have. I'm not saying that. But we just went to the park. We went to the park. We ran into this new restaurant, and we had a good time together. And now we've just decided, okay, on the weekends, that's us time. That find balance. Find balance. While you're on this journey of building that business and get into the M's, and I understand you want all of that, but understand life is worth living right now, even without all of that stuff. Even though you haven't gotten to the business success that you desire, life is still worth living right now. And you can still find moments to make yourself find moments to live life, because you could die tomorrow. And do you want to say that you spent your entire life, the last years of your life, just grinding and sacrificing for what? None of that shit matters anymore.
Right.
So instead of trying to push everything away to get to this external heaven, find internal heaven right now. That's just a decision. That's literally just a choice to shift your attention. So.
Nah, that's beautiful, babe. That was well said.
Thank you.
But you know I gotta correct you.
What'd I say?
You know I gotta correct you. Now look, yes, we did have a tough conversation about, hey, we not delaying anymore. Like, yes, I agree. But I told you what type of time I was on for January now.
No, okay, yeah. No, I said January. You said that you wanted to carry on
I
several
was
more months.
Well, I was considering
several more months.
But she's right. Now I was gonna be like find balance in that. Of course, I wasn't saying like just stay.
This man said he didn't want to go nowhere. He didn't want to see nobody. He didn't want to do
Yeah,
nothing.
I was
be
really
in the
on
house.
some bumper
So don't let
rails.
him lie to you.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's what he said he wanted to do. But
But
it's cool. We're outside now.
yeah. So we've learned a lot, y'all. So please, hey, leave some comments below. You know what I'm saying? Let us know your thoughts. Where you at in your journey? What really resonated with you, and share that with us. We want to know.
And on top of that, y'all, we're back now.
Yeah, we outside.
It's Black and Abundant. We're back now. So if you got any things that we want to talk about, like we've already got like a whole list of things. And I know that this podcast was about really updating you guys on our lives, but I'm excited to dive into like some more topics and some more like tangible things that you can take. Like I'm excited for all of the topics and the wisdom and the amazing things that are to come. But if you have any ideas, leave them with us. But I'm gonna go ahead. Do you have anything else to say before I say the final closeout words?
No, just stay. Be black and abundant. Don't go get abundant. Be black and abundant.
Please follow us at Black Abundant on Instagram. I am Nia Love, even though my name's Nia Jackson. I'm Nia Love to social media. So follow me at by Nia Love and follow Jamal at the Jamal Jackson _.
I don't even remember what my Instagram name is.
I think
That's
that
something
is.
I've been on.
It's in the
it's
bio.
somewhere here in here. But reach out to me, chop it up. Let's get it.
But all right, thank you guys so much, and we will catch you next time.